Hello and welcome, as it is now the 5th day of August 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades, and of the like, well, that's within each's own risk and their own reward. For myself, risk-reward management is always job number one. And this is going to be a gold and silver video. And you know, for years and years now, going back to the late part of the past decade, 2007, 2008, 2009, and even as we started this previous decade, it was all about, the shit's gonna hit the fan. This is all gonna collapse, economic collapse, all this type of stuff. And well, I'm not saying that the shit's just hit the fan and everything, but I think it might have. And interesting things we are seeing, and let's just go over everything here. I'm going to make two videos at this time frame, this being the gold and silver. It's been really busy for me because I've been doing a lot of fantasy, and hockey has been just magnificent and busy for me. It's going to continue to be so as we move into the rest of the playoffs. More so in the early periods as there's more games. But anyway, so this is the daily chart for the gold to silver ratio going back to from basically over the last year. So last year at the end of the point, we had this little run, and then gold had a spectacular start as it started the rally off. And it went up to levels not seen, over 100, up to about $1.25, 125. And then since then, we've now had this low, we've had this low, and then all of this in here now. A bit of this highs in here. So it doesn't look like this move is over, meaning this key low, and we're going to just continue on possibly to the move side, but most certainly a large failed breakout when we look at it from this perspective, not supporting anywhere in this upper area in here. And then we look at this on a long-term perspective. It's still that area where maybe it could still find support at this area. Piercing below could come down to as low as like 70 or something. But generally speaking, when this goes down, that's because the precious metals are in big moves up to the upside, both gold and silver. And then going up is when the markets are in as basically silver's going down for the most part. So this should move the opposite of the silver market. And of course, silver right now having some good gains. We'll go silver next and then gold. So let's take a look at silver. And we'll start with the daily term time frame. And I put these lines in, which represented Fibonacci from this key high to this low, which meant it didn't really go down too far, and these gains are getting extended. These Fibonacci lines should increase, and I'm just going to don't need them anymore. But the market has been in nothing but a spectacular up run as it managed to get above this level of resistance, and it did so about a month ago, and it has just not stopped going up. Yeah, we had a little bit of this correctionary run, but correctionary move from this high down to this low has been nothing but successful. We see it from this high in here. We have this high that comes up to this point. We come down to this low. It's retested in here. A lot of resistance in his point, but what happens today? Big hour at 10 o'clock this morning, up 3.75%. And then continue follow through afterwards. Just magnificent. Where does it follow to? Oh, look for the next key previous high, and that's where we're resisting. It's pierced above that, hanging in there very, very big. And now on correctionary mode, if it's going to go down from this move, well, it's going to be big for it to hold about 24 3/4. But right now it's at 26. It's just doing magnificent. On the long-term time frame, a clear breakout above the 18 average of highs after, well, from that big high of $50 before. It never got above it on this run in here. And then, try to here, back to the 18. Try to here, corrected, and then just a spectacular breakout so far. And switching it to a quarterly term time frame, which means we came up to here in 1980, the $50 for the first time. And I mean, I've said it so many times, but the fact that we were actually still below it, when you look at all the other markets that have been around for so long at this time and before, like all the stock markets and even gold, copper, anything that existed back then, for the most part. And then what was the price of home prices and all these different things. And people talk about, oh, silver's been manipulated so much and everything. And you know what? Yeah, and the fact that it's been so cheap has been magnificent. But as the chart shows, we have this high. So we correct within this, not able to get above it after this. So it obviously did not do any type of up moves, resisted in here. Attempt to break it here. Obviously, at much time it did. Corrected to the 18 and a failed attempt and a long successful correction. And then a successful breakout to now retracement from this high, or this low rather, to this high. And it pretty much made a 100% retracement. In fact, not quite 100% because silver pierced above $50 on January of 1980, where it pierced below 50 on April 30th, 2011. So within it, so retracement mode along the way, it had a correctionary move in here from the 2008 level. And then really just two legs higher, leg one, leg two. And since then, it's had a much longer correctionary phase where it has dipped below the 18. And all this time to stay within the band, but an attempt is what this is. Of this gate, an attempt to resume this uptrend and thus be a contrary move, a down move within a primary uptrend. And when you have a situation of a kilo high, then you have a major correction of a higher low, retest of high, another major correction of higher low, an extreme, and especially when it's that much noticeable of a higher low, which it is. And then you come back and you test this is like a pure example of what I consider weak resistance, because I feel coming up here, yeah, it could easily do something like this and pull back and, oh, there's 50 to 25, 50% off. Yeah, maybe. But that's still, to me, like weak or child's play. If that's I think the best it would do. It probably or might not even do that. It could maybe be a lighter correction, like down to 32, 33, and give back maybe a 20 or 30% move. And maybe it just goes sideways at this area for a while. And then maybe there isn't resistance and it just breaks it. And then when it breaks it, at this stage, we would be looking at, I would consider, spectacular moves. And I got this switch back to the futures just because I got Fibonacci lines on here where the breakouts would be. But again, 3-month chart, you see it breaking it very, very nicely. Daily chart, well, we didn't resist here at 2028. But that tells me that we're probably going to make a clear move to the next level. So the fact that we've seen this move correct like I did, and I said before in the last video, I'm not going to trust the sell-off, and well, I can see why I didn't trust it. I trust the fact that it's probably going to have a good chance of coming up and at least testing at this 28 or 28.58 level. And if we get past that, the next level of resistance, of course, would be 35.34. Next level to that would be the previous high of 50. And to finish silver off, let's do so with a Canadian dollar in at $34.10 and retracing higher. And that's like this with a lot of these metals against all other currencies outside the US dollar. As US dollar, gold is now just making new all-time highs in its currency, where a lot of them did a long time. We'll get to gold in a bit, but 34.04, but this little range in here, resistance, pretty much Fibonacci from this high to this low, and it was in this range since like for the last 7 years or so, and goodbye range, breaking it to the upside, and a clear break it has been so far. I'm not going to say it was because it's in current tense. A great break. It's no signs of it ending. And if anything, a lot of signs of it continuing. Again, because we come up to this resistance point, this pullback, and I just love how this retracement is. So because this high, this low, this is where we have weak resistance from, from this high to this low, now that we've come up to this point, because it's like a similar situation. Good gain, you have a correction within it, now a great move back to this high. I don't like the chances that silver is going to go below 32 3/4 Canadian right now, and I think it's going to keep going higher. Of course, the markets will do what it does, but so far, as I stated a long time ago, the silver and gold prices, I think it's last call these prices for, and I've been like so correct on it. We'll see if it continues, because I do think the shit has hit the fan, and these things will just continue to go higher. And when it comes down to it, breaking the $50 level, why did my Okay. Yeah, I was planning on showing well, it's 130. That's the upside target that I got breaking above 50. Anyway, on to gold. We will do so first in the Canadian dollar, then we'll switch it to the United States fiat. Both of them are fiat, of course. All countries got the fiat currency. But anyway, as it goes on the 3-month chart, quarterly, so beautiful up run. There's your correctionary phase. Resumption of the breakout, and boy, has it been so spectacular so far. On the daily, it's been just a fantastic run. At the earlier part of the year, 1933. And now in at 26.76, and just running phenomenal, just nicely extended from the 18. But it's also a lot of times, if you're going to have a big move like this, you're going to finish off with like a big green candle move. And you don't see the volume on here, but again, I don't see no signs of this move ending right now. And now let's switch it to the American chart, $2,031. So the previous high of 1,920 has been taken out, and it's above it by 110. So about 6% or so higher from the high about less than 1 decade ago. But in the similar case here was a spot where we had all this resistance at about 1,700 and change, and has done a fantastic job in breaking out towards just continue like the 3-day chart, just a tremendous breakout. All the correctionary moves have been fast in a sense. Like this one is just phenomenal how it dips below the 18 average, and then it just continues to do like a magnificent run. A weekly term time frame, just a fantastic run ever since around Halloween of last year. Every single time it comes down the 18 lows, it has corrected, and now it is well extended from it. As it had a situation in here where we had this resistance, a little bit of strength on the 18, showing strength at the 18 highs, and bang, bang, and bang. It's just been magnificent. Right now, we're on finishing day number 2, 40% done this week. And it's just been a magnificent move all the way through. Monthly term time frame still well extended after it broke out last June of 2019 from the 18 highs, correcting a little bit through time at the end of last year. Of course, the situation back in March, but a weak resistance here. It's pierced above that level now at this stage. 1920 was the high on the 3-month term time frame. We're looking at back again from the 1970s and such, but it's gotten above this level of resistance in here. Nice little break to this point. Did not come back to where it came from in here, which would have been a range between 839 and like 500. Instead, it had an amazing correction through the 18. It attempted to leave it April of last year, and it has been nothing but a successful attempt so far. If there's going to be any corrections, I mean, the must-hold area now is like around like 1,400 or so, but 18 average, wherever it's going to rise within it when it has a move. If this thing just exceeds so high, the 18 average will also rise high along with it as well. And we'll finish this time frame off within the yearly time frame, which is one of my favorites for gold because it shows the excitation of the 18 average of highs after you had a magnificent run to start the millennium off, and then the last decade's correctionary run that it's had all these years just staying within the highs. How last year it started to leave the high area, now it's just been nothing but a full-fledged breakout. So the potential for a large size green candle this year and the next is extremely live. And within the conclusion, let's take a look back at the monthly time frame with gold. Different chart now because this is the Fibonacci from the key high to the low. And I talked a lot about that going back for a few years and how we were resisting this for, back in 2016, 2017. That's why so many years. So it got above it, clear move to here. I like how it corrected at this point. And then this little bit of volatility in here, resisting this high, supporting this, which was resistance first. We can see in here how there was a little bit of liftoff support amongst this Fibonacci. Nothing on this line here added. And now I got line at previous high. It's pierced above it. I'm going to delete these lines when I have a clear-cut move, because if this happens to be a top, then these are areas that are going to be key support points. But it does look to me as if this thing could have a full-fledged break, and we could be seeing 23, 24, 28, 3,000. And well, before the end of the year, early into next year, it could be crazy. Anyway, that's just what I think. Of course, what happens happens, and what you do with whatever information you get, it's, you know what, it's your own investments, your own choices, your own bets. That's why I say at the start of every video, your risk, your reward. But if you're trying to make profitable investments and trades, going on the internet, trying to find the information that works for you, that helps you, and that's why maybe, there's a few of the people watching this video, that's why they like this channel, because it helps them out along the way, and I can see why it would. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.